Yeah, welcome back to the Stormworks weekly update video. This is the update for Friday, September 16th. So this is a big one where they're going to announce some of the things they're working on, and it looks very exciting, and it is even more towards the direction of what I was wanting. So let's go ahead and read through it. This is the first time I've read through it as well. So Stormworks Industrial Frontier expansion. That's very cool. Dear Stormworkers, on 13th October 22, we'll be launching the new Industrial Frontier expansion. So only we're looking at about a month. So this is coming soon. So this is really good. New lands. The Industrial Frontier update includes a new 400 square kilometer arid mega island. This is a huge new location and is 2 times bigger than the current largest island. Overall, the expansion doubles the total land area in Stormworks. That's fantastic. I've been hoping for a separate island for a while. Um, the distances in Stormworks are pretty short, so it's very nice to have another area. It's definitely cool to have another biome. Just from the pictures, as you can tell, and from what they said, it's going to be an arid desert area. That's really nice to have a separate whole island. I really like to have a big contiguous island, especially for railroads. That makes more sense. I'm not a huge fan of the railway bridges going all the way up to the Arctic. It'd be cool in the future if that was disableable. It's kind of RP and breaking and unrealistic to me to have railway bridges going all the way up to the Arctic. So I kind of like this focus here, and maybe someday they'll make it so that you can disable them. And industry was actually my number one hope for an update. I thought I was going to be fishing, but industry is what I actually kind of wanted. I'd certainly enjoy fishing, but industry was really what I wanted. So let's continue reading here. To the south of the Stormworks world, this warmer location is a combination of salt flats, arid cliffs, canyons, volcano, industrial facilities, bases, and more. So I like the different kind of areas. Salt flats, historically have been some areas where, nice flat areas where people would race cars. Plains would land, that's kind of cool. Arid cliffs, adding potentially some cool off-roading areas for land vehicles. Canyons and volcanoes, you can imagine flying your planes through canyons. Seems really cool. Industrial facilities, bases, and more. The industrial facilities is something that I've really been hoping for a long time. I used to love playing Farming Sim and putting on some of the industrial mods, where, for example, you would get, say, gravel, and you'd get water, and you'd bring it to the industrial facility, and it would give you concrete. Then you'd take concrete and you'd move that to the construction site, and so each step in the process would get you more money. So especially with Stormworks being a building game where you're going to, where that's where the main strength is and where the main joy of the game, for me at least, is. Having these industries where it gives you a reason to build a bunch of different things to do a bunch of different jobs is really cool. New rail. The new location includes hundreds of kilometers of new train lines, roads, including loops, switching stations, storage yards, bridges, and more. That sounds awesome. I'm really starting to get into the trains, and that's really entertaining me. Mining and processing is really big for me. This is something I've really been hoping for a long time. Several new mines and quarries are introduced with new surface material deposits that can be mined using the new mining drill. The extracted ores can be transported to a refinery and processing facilities and foundries to reduce them to pure metal ingots that can be sold at the metal trading yard. This probably sounds familiar to a lot of you guys. I've been talking about, how I would love to be able to, process some ore and turn it into ingots for quite a while. That's a really cool element to me, is the ability to process these things. And then, an ingot, you might need some sort of crane or a forklift to lift onto a truck and then transpose. So it gives you so many options to have different vehicles. And they've kind of gone above and beyond what I thought they were going to do. If we think of coal, or if we think of coal, how it just pretty much drops out of the chute, that's not bad. You figure the main focus of the game is that. So I figured, they just have ore drop out of a chute, but it actually looks like, you see these deposits, and you have to drill them, and then you can move them. That's really cool. That is very nice. Wildlife and farms. The new wildlife system introduces dozens of species of animal, including wildlife such as deer, badgers, horses, hares, farm animals such as uh, sh- cattle, sheep, goats, as well as aggressive animals, various types, bears, wolves, and more. So this is something this is a big surprise to me, and this is something awesome. Um, I really, I'm an animal lover, and so yeah, I'm not a big fan of krakens and megalodons, and especially, you know, uh, you know, that's not the type of animal gameplay I like. I like the animals we have in games now. I kind of gives me a kick every time I see a whale in game. I even enjoy the birds. So it'd be really cool to have, more wildlife in the game. The aggressive animals seem interesting to me. I'm not a big, I don't hunt. I don't like hunting. But I think, as a game element, like for example, you can see a polar bear chasing a seal. It kind of, it gives you a game element where if you're just wandering around the Arctic, and maybe the polar bear comes and attacks you, it gives those of us who don't play a lot of weapons DLC or are playing a peaceful type of game mode in career a reason to say maybe carry one of the weapons DLC weapons with us and for protection. Storm woofs. This one had me laughing when I saw the dog in the car. Many species of trained domesticated dogs are introduced in the industrial frontier. They are a rare encounter, but is a useful friend and will follow instructions given by a dog whistle, as well as having a keen sense of survivors. This is awesome. It sounds too like you can go and adopt them from the wild, which is kind of cool. Like you could be puttering around, or you could even make it a mission to go find a dog and have a little buddy in game, and that's really cool. I like that a lot. Additional free content. So this must be the DLC. I'm all for DLC. There's certain companies and games that do it way too much. Um, there are certain companies that do it in a predatory way, where they do a lot of FOMO and they do a lot of hype and look, The Sims, historically, Star Citizen, has macro transactions. I think the Stormworks devs have done DLC in the right way. They've done one DLC so far. I'm happy with one a year. I'd even be happy with two a year. It's a lot of work. The way the game is monetized, the game is not I think it was Ubisoft last week said that all their new games are going to be $70 because of inflation. Whether it's really because of inflation or whether it's them, just having an opportunity to raise. Put it into perspective. When I was a kid, 30 years ago, games were $50. Every game you went to buy for PC was $50, and if you got 20 hours out of that game, you were lucky. And a game like Stormworks, I put in I don't know, $40, and I have over 3,000 hours of entertainment in it. So just from a financial standpoint, I understand that the developers need revenue in order to continue to support a product, and it's basic economics, it's basic business. Is if you don't have the financial support for that product, and if people are not continuing to buy your product, you need to build a different product, or you need to add to that product. Think of accessories. And so if we actually think of DLC as accessories to the initial product, it's not unreasonable to ask for another $10 if you want. Again, you don't have to every year to say, hey, if you want this new content that we've spent all this time working on that costs us, wages and health and welfare and, office space and all these other things, that's not an unreasonable ask. And it's certainly, I think we're getting our money's worth. I certainly got my $10 worth out of Weapons DLC, and I certainly got my $30 worth out of Stormworks for 3,000 hours. So it's I don't mind paying for these. I understand some people financially it's a struggle, but really, if a kid came up to me today and said, "Hey, I'll mow your lawn for $30," I would say I would give him the lawnmower and $30 and say, "Thank you very much," And so it's really not that hard to, and I understand different people are in different situations, but that's pretty small money, and you can go out and make $10 pretty easily. All right, so let's continue here. Additional free content. The Industrial Frontier expansion is a DLC, so I'm very happy to hear that. Again, for all those reasons, I'm you know by having these DLCs, it supports the game, it continues the game being updated, it keeps making it so that we have a Stormworks. If the money dries up, we don't have a Stormworks, and so that's good for me. However, we will also be releasing a free major update at the same time, including an industrialization of the Sawyer Islands with loads of new rail line across the island, and the new mining mechanics for coal and uranium will also be included in base game with a new career fuel management system. I'm very interested to hear what this career fuel management system is going to be. We cannot wait to share this release with you. More details will come soon. Much love, Stormworks developers. So let's go through these picks. This is going to be a little bit of a longer one just because there's a lot of content here. So, really cool. Looks like a bucket. I forget what these are called. It's not a bucket dredge. It's a bucket mining head. I forget what they're called. But, bucket dredge uses the same type of function. It just dredges out the ocean. Kind of showing the landscape here. So here we're in our cliffs, our nice red rocked cliffs. These are more salt flats. Looks like we definitely have a power plant there. I'm very excited about the on-land rail and the new type of rail switch with new switching stations and storage yards. Very excited about that. The mining looks excellent. The new animals look great. The pet system looks awesome. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I think they did this right again where, make it a DLC. So those of us who very much want to support the game and who want this new content and think it's value for money can buy that and further financially support the game. And those who may not want to or may not have the financial resources to pay for the DLC can also access some of the features at least. And so, we're still going to get, if you don't want to pay, we still have Sawyer Islands are going to get new rail line. That's something that the train community has been asking for a very long time. Having contiguous trail lines on the main island. Again, I would love it if they would also make it so that we can disable the rail bridges to the Arctic. I think they're a massive eyesore. I really don't care for them. I would much rather, now that we have a huge new island coming in that's twice the size of the main island, which I really like that scale, and we're going to have some rail lines on the main island. I would love to see either getting rid of the rail line to the Arctic or making it so that it's selectable so that you can checkbox and get rid of the rail line to the Arctic. It's just such it's so unrealistic that it breaks RP for me, and I've seen a lot of comments, especially from the train community, that they don't care for that rail line to the Arctic. And so this looks like an amazing update. This is better than what I was hoping for. I thought it was going to be fishing, which again was something that I think would be a ton of fun. We still have JSI's mods for that. And so, this is ahead of what I thought it was going to be. And so I'm thrilled with this. This was my number one hope was industrial. And I said, oh, that's probably not going to be that. But it is. And so I hope you guys are excited about this as I am. October 13th is the date. That's right around the corner. We're talking a little less than a month. This will be huge for the game, I think. This will add a lot of gameplay, a lot of interesting stuff. Just the ability to go and explore these new areas is going to be great. I think this is going to bring in one thing one of my criticisms has been that airplanes in a lot of ways in game are pretty useless just because you don't have any missions going from one far area to another. That's where airplanes really shine is long distances. So everybody reverts to using a helicopter for everything, and that part of that is you'll have a mission, bring 2 engineers to the windmill. Well, you have to pick them up from an airport with a nice long runway, but then you have to land them on a helipad. So you have to take a helicopter or some other form of VTOL, where this could bring the possibility too of having missions, or at least making your own missions where you transport things from one airport with a big airplane to another airport with an airplane. And so I think this is going to add just a ton of new game components. I think the devs are really listening to the community and coming out with some excellent content that's going to be value for money, and I'm excited to give them more business here. So I hope you guys are excited for this. Let me know what you think. If you like the video, please give it a like, and if you have yet to subscribe and you like my content, please consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one.